Hey there, hi there, ho there, this is Ed with another episode of the Broken Controller Club, where I serve a heaping helping of game reviews and features sprinkled with some gaming news here and there for added flavor. Sometimes it tastes like crap, just being honest. Anyway, be a pal and drop a like and subscribe for me to help support the channel and prove to my friends and family that playing video games for 35 years wasn't a complete and total waste of my time. I decided to try something that largely went under the radar when it released a couple of weeks ago, and it's Roman Rumble in Las Vegum, Asterix and Obelix XXL 2. And yes, that is the full title. As far as I'm concerned, it should stay under the radar. Nobody needs to play this. I'm just going to come out and say that this is one of the most boring games I've ever played, to a point where I actually fell asleep during the prologue and on a few other occasions while actually playing. So just who are these characters? They're actually from a French comic called Asterix. If you grew up with Sunday Funnies, you probably saw it at some point. It takes place in the city of Gaul during 50 BC. Everybody's name in this apparently has an IX or a UM at the end of it. It makes things clunky to pronounce, like how Asterix's dog's name is Crap-matix, for example. In this game, their druid friend Getafix has seemingly betrayed their home to Julius Caesar, and it's up to the heroes to find out what happened and pummel the stuffing out of lots of Romans along the way. This is a trigger warning for any ancient Roman citizens watching. You will see your people get punched a lot. So the game has a style to it that I can appreciate, at least. It's colorful, the characters all look like they're from the comics that I've seen online, and there's a ton of gaming references in here that I actually liked. Romans are dressed like Mario, Sam Fisher from the Splinter Cell series, Sonic the Hedgehog, a really big guy dressed up like Lara Croft, parodies like that. Other than punching some fools and watching them comically fly off the screen, it's not very violent either. Despite being colorful though, the graphics are really more of a PS2 or PS3 quality game. It's not really a compliment. There's a hub of sorts that you'll use to get around to various areas in the game, with goals and some platforming along the way. The game wants you to utilize both characters to solve some of the puzzles as well, which were not difficult to begin with. The problems that I had were more from not knowing where I had to go next and the way everything resets when you go into an area after exiting it. I got lost several times. Also, a pain in my rear was the camera. It got stuck on walls and doorways so that I was just getting lost on top of it, fighting with the camera that wasn't letting me see where I was going. Despite being released in 2019, the camera doesn't lead ahead of you to show you anything like where you're supposed to go, and it doesn't let you look around with it other than spinning it around the character either. So I have to say it again, this game is really frustrating to get around in. So for the record, it looks and controls like a PS2 game. Again, not a compliment. The fighting itself is really monotonous and simple. You can basically just mash the punch button down for every fight. You'll go from area to area where you'll have to fight waves of enemies. In the beginning, it's not so bad, because you'll see a counter of, say, 25 enemies that you have to mow down to unlock a door. But when you get to a point where you're fighting upwards of 100 enemies, it's just 100 enemies worth of pushing the punch button. And that number skyrockets early on, as if someone on the developers team said, "Hey, I bet they had so much fun beating 25 guys, let's make the next wave 80 of them." And then, since he's the boss's idiot cousin, they all cringed and agreed. There's some spots where they want you to use the grab button and fling bad guys into a target to open a door, but other than that, you're just pushing the punch button. I want to point out that once you clear the amount of enemies in these areas, you actually have to walk through the door to trigger the enemies to stop coming, or else you're actually just going to continue fighting enemies for the rest of your life. There's a combo system as well, but heck if I understood the timing to get these moves to work, and when I did, there was no tangible benefit or flash when using them, so just back to pushing punch. Both Asterix and Obelix play the same, so other than a couple puzzles that utilize their sizes, there's no real reason to switch between them. You can also use their dog, Crap-matix, to fight, but every time I hit the button, it just made a noise like it didn't work. And he's so small on the screen that I couldn't tell if that was just a noise, or that he did actually lunge or bite or whatever he was supposed to do. I don't know, the fighting is just awful. Buying skills doesn't help flesh out the fighting either. And I didn't mention this yet, but the currency in this game is Roman helmets. Why not gold? Or just coins? Why helmets? I don't normally care about this, but it actually takes me out of the game to sit there and wonder how someone can hand over 1,000 helmets to buy a piece of meat or an upgrade. According to howlongtobeat.com, the game's only supposed to be about 8 hours long, but honestly, I got about halfway through and just stopped. I can't imagine playing through this whole story, much less going back to grind helmets to buying all the extras. It just wasn't fun. Also, who decided on the title? They couldn't shorten that? It sounds like a wrestling game title. They could have called it Asterix and Obelix, Cure for Insomnia, or Asterix and Obelix, just put tape on the punch button and go to bed. Anyway, just stay away from this. Seriously. You want to beat 'em up? Go buy the Genesis collection and play Streets of Rage. Or the Capcom fighting game collection, or whatever it's called, and go buy Final Fight. Then play Streets of Rage 4 when it comes out next year. And then go buy the arcade 1-up cabinet with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Then take your leftover money and put it into a mutual fund. Or buy some fruit at the farmer's market. Make a pie for your friends and family. Just do not buy this. And with that, I am off to play something else that I'm just going to assume is better. Thank you again for watching. This is Ed with the Broken Controller Club, reminding you to not take too long making a decision at the drive-thru, make your bed before you leave for work, and leave positive feedback for the guy on eBay who sold you that mint-condition recording of the Dracula Cha-Cha. All joking aside, I kind of want this. Peace! Do you like what you see? Or did you lose a bet? Have to subscribe to your most hated channel on YouTube? Do you feel sorry for me? Be sure to ding that sexy subscribe button before changing channels, as I have no shame, will take whatever I can get. Thanks again for watching.